Hello, family. Hello, hello, hello. Not gonna be on here long. Got an hour and that's it. I'm debating if I'm gonna keep doing this or not. I don't know if this is something I want to continue doing or not. I'm just like, it's so much I have to do, and I always already feel like I'm neglecting my foundation because I'm working right, and I feel like I'm neglecting my baby, and I hate feeling like that because it's things that I need to do, and work is work, and I'm trying to get my little duckies in the row so I can do some other things. So I feel like it's and you can't do everything. You be trying to do everything you can. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing well. We always got to pay tribute. You know how we always have to start our show off, and we're gonna do this, quite often until we get it. I heard today there was a shooting in, what was that, Florida, and this white guy, went to a place where he knows, hey, 88, where he knows that black folk hang out, right? But what did I tell you guys about your candy bars? You still not listening. Okay. You know what? We can talk and we talk and we talk and we talk, and black folk just don't get it. And I don't know what it's gonna take. You see this stuff every day, and you still thinking whoa, it won't happen to me. Okay. Well, I hope everybody is doing well, and I hope that we're gonna learn eventually. Okay. That these crackers ain't playing. Um, Delusion, why do you ask such crazy questions, 88? I'm gonna let you answer that. I think you just be want to hear yourself talk, right? Hey, Shanique, welcome. Really, huh? You got notification. That's good. That's good. Welcome. Y'all like and share as you come in. We're gonna talk a little bit about our men, right? Our kings. But first, I got to do my little tributes. I got two tributes I got to do, and I want you guys to listen to both tributes. I got to shit like and share. Y'all like and share, but I gotta play this. This is gonna be my tribute every time I do my show. So y'all hold on and help me out here. But we're gonna do some work today. We're gonna put some work in today. Y'all bear with me a little bit. I'm not gonna be on here all day because I know Forecast Light loves to come on Sundays, and I'm trying to get a consistency, but I don't know. My consistency ain't your consistency. I'm terrible at being, supposed to be Friday nights, and then I get busy on Friday. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see, y'all. We're gonna try to get better. But I'm getting ready to go out of town. I'll be out of town from the 2nd to the 9th. So 2 Saturdays. I don't know. I may try to do it where I am, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, let's do our tribute, and then I got come out here. Y'all stand up for the stand up for your pledge. I love this. I hope I can get it to come on. I hope this thing ain't clowning. All right, here you go. Y'all already know what we're gonna do, right? You already know. You already know. Let's not act like we don't know Cassie. Okay? I'm trying to make sure that we're doing what we need to do. All right, here we go, family. Here we go. Here we go. Y'all stand up for the pledge. Come on, Jill. Do your thing, Jill. Can y'all hear it? See if you can hear it. Can y'all hear it? Let me know. Nothing on What's skipping, huh? Hold on. Okay, hold on, you guys. That's not gonna work for me. Hold on. Let's try to do another one. Huh. Well, I tell you, they already know when I come on. Hold on, let me see if I can get another one on here. Hold on. Hold on, let's see. Y'all let me know in the chat. Forecast, welcome. Forecast, welcome.
I was 17 years old when I took
Let me know how this one's gonna be. Okay, y'all let me know. Boy, they sure be missing. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Lord have mercy. And if I need to go out and come back in, you know what? Let's do this. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Y'all bear with me. Bear with me, you guys. Let's go down here and do another one. How about that? Let's see if we can take it down and rebuild it. What you think? Oh, they can't stop greatness, babe. They can't stop greatness. They try though. My other black clean everything. Every time I talk about black men, they do this every single time. The first two videos I did, they took down about the black men, so I'm redoing it, and I'm going to try to go a little deeper on them. So let's see. Might be my computer. I don't know what's going on with the computer. I've had no problem. This is my new computer here. But yeah, it's okay. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. Woo! Oh my goodness, this is crazy. Wow, this is crazy. Wow. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? This is crazy. It kicked me off, so I'm gonna try it again. This is weird. I hope y'all can y'all hear me today? All right. I hope I'm good. Can y'all hear me? Give me a one or something. Let me know that we good. And I'm gonna try to go back in here and share some things. Yeah, we back. I love it though. That means I'm doing something right, right? Okay, let me try something. I'm gonna try to let's give him something to hear. Hold on. Let me give him something. Let me give him something, a little something, something. Hold on, y'all. This is my other thing I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about. Hold on. I always gotta play my girl, right? Right? Okay, hold on. Let me see if I'm being. I'm getting extremely tired of this comment. Hold on. Let's see if I can get on here, back on here. All right, y'all. Hold on. Let me help me out. This is a weird day today, huh? Okay. Y'all know what I'm gonna do. Y'all want y'all to hear this. I always play this. I'm gonna play it till y'all get tired of hearing it, right? But this is my other young lady.
On the planet would be to completely divide them from the love within themselves. As soon as they are old enough to begin creating an understanding of who they are, force them into a system that teaches them that it is wrong to be yourself if yourself is different from what is accepted as normal. Confuse them about their own biological makeup so that they think that permanently altering their body is the answer to happiness. Require their daily attendance at an institution that makes them focus only on the information that is provided. Make them attend that institution from age 5 until an adult and repeatedly test them on the information so that it give them an explanation and humiliate them if they suggest an opinion that opposes that of their authoritative. Keep reminding them of how cruel their ancestors were to each other in the past and broadcast how cruel they are to each other in the present. Only show them tragedies on the news so that they live in fear and think the worst of one another. Convince them that their species used to be that of an incognizant wild animal. Make them think that their very existence is so incredibly random that they lack purpose and struggle to make sense of a creator. Tell them that their kind is as smart as they've ever been so that they don't question the integrity of the system that they're in. Provide them idols with artificial beauty and use them as examples of what it is to look perfect so that they are never content with their own appearance and can't help but to compare themselves amongst each other. Create addictive digital platforms that rank them by numbers so that they base their self-worth off of the amount of followers that they have and are never satisfied. Build a society around them in which those who have money benefit and those who don't fail. Make money their main focus, but make it so difficult to accumulate that they remain in a place of constant struggle, forced to dedicate the majority of their time to the system that made it this way. Tax them in every way possible, but tell them that it's for their own benefit so that they don't think twice about paying it. Take so much of their time and energy throughout the week, but give them 2 days to themselves so that they feel a sense of reward and don't fight back. Promote the consumption of poison in every social setting so that even on those 2 days, they remain disconnected from themselves and each other. Pump their food with excess sugars and addictive chemicals, but make it consuming. When their food makes them ill, prescribe them medication that only masks the symptoms so that they become dependent on it every day. Charge them so much money for healthcare so that they stay in a constant loop of consuming, medicating, and working. Cause chaos amongst them and blame it on a group of their own so that they form judgmental stereotypes. Turn them against each other in so many ways so that even if they were to connect on one, they would still be divided by another. The best way to gain control of them.
Wow, huh? That's pretty cool. This is what they do. And they know. They know what they're doing. Plain and simple. But I got another one for you. Let's try this one. Since I couldn't get Jill on my computer, let me get her on my phone. How about that? Come on, Jill, where you at? Okay, I got you. It's all good. We're going to work this thing. Come on, Jill, we need you, baby. Okay, hold on.
And read poetry. It's been a really blessed life, and I just want to say thank you so much for your encouragement and your support. It means a lot. You don't have to do it, but you do. And that's what's up. I wrote this when I was 19 years old. Ready? I'm 51 now. Can you see by the blood in the street that this place doesn't smile on you, colored child, whose blood built this land with sweat and their hands. But you'll die in this place, and your memory
know that's my jam, right? I love it. I'm telling you, I love it. I love it. But it's all good, family. We're gonna have to get to the place where we are just going to enjoy where we are and enjoy life. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it can get overwhelming. But tonight we're gonna talk about being a black man in damn KKK. Okay, just it's just man, I'm telling you, my hat goes off to my kings. I'm telling you because what y'all go through on a regular, I don't know how y'all do it. It's just crazy. Anthony, welcome, 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 welcome. Oh Lord, this is crazy. I am just so I don't know. My computer's doing some crazy stuff, y'all. I ain't gonna give y'all this back in. You'd be like, what the hell is going on here? But you know what? You laugh it out. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about how our men go through so much in this country. And we're still going through. We've been going through a long time, right? I'm gonna start to share some stuff. Hopefully it won't. I'm not gonna be on here long. I'm just not gonna do it because I know Forecast wants to. He like to do his show on Saturday Sundays, and I don't like to interfere. But let me just share a little bit, you guys. We're gonna talk about this. They said we had. Hold on, let me see if it's gonna let me share. Okay, I think it's gonna let me do it. I want to show you guys something. Um, we had like we had the Million Man March or something, right? That Dr. King 60 years, right? A celebration, right? Let's look at something. 60 years, huh? Out of 60 years, what's changed? I don't know what's going on with my computer, you guys. I swear I don't. This is crazy. Usually it's fine, but I think I need to shut it down and just restart it or something because it's just acting a fool. It's just not. It's just buffering stuff. I don't know. It's acting crazy, y'all. Y'all see it? This is weird. This is really crazy. It's just buffering. I have never seen my computer do this. But I've been leaving it up and it probably needs to just reset. So like I said, I'm not gonna be on here long. I'm gonna see which one I can get up and whatever comes up, I'm gonna do it. And if it don't come up, then we're not gonna stay on. Like I said, we're not gonna be on here long. I'm just trying to see what so don't look like nothing coming up today, huh? That's just crazy. Okay, let's talk about okay, let this come up. We'll take this. Okay, there's been some other stuff, but pouring in either African American or Native American. That's not my thing is not talking about Native Americans. I'm not concerned too much about Native Americans. I couldn't care less about Native Americans for real. But let's talk a little bit about this, okay? But I also want to mention Martin Luther King had, and I had something up here, but it won't come up. But they had the celebration, the 60-year celebration, 60 years, and it's still nothing has changed in 60 years. What are we doing wrong? Why do we see the same stuff over and over and we don't see anything new? What is going on? They had the celebration for a 60-year celebration for him. And what has changed? Nothing has changed. It's still police brutality. It's still what in the injustice justice system. Everything is still the same. Nothing has changed. And tell me why. That is just crazy to me. I don't understand that. I don't get it. And nobody said anything wrong. They had the right black folks saying the right stuff or the wrong stuff on the news, right? But let's talk about it. The challenges facing black men in the case for action. Okay. Lord Jesus, let's just keep on moving here. This thing is crazy. So, to a male poor in either African American or Native American is to confront The Asians have gone through, right? But Black folks still going through. Everybody went through theirs and came out, went through theirs and came out, went through theirs and came out. But Black folks still going through theirs. Okay. And I think we're going to continue going through as long as we're looking for white people to save us, white supremacy to save you. You're going to keep going through until you learn to do for self, because all of these groups, they didn't vote their way out. They started building for themselves. The Jews created, they got a lot, but the Jews that are over the media, they're over everything. They clicked in where they could, and they clicked in, and now they're off and running. Okay. The Chinese, they clicked in where they could, and they're off and running. Everybody has clicked in except Black people. So why are we not learning how to do this? Why are we not building? Why are we not coming together? We still trying to get acclimated. We're still trying to hook up with people that don't even like you. And every day you hear about it. You just had a shooting in Florida in a Dollar General. And you know that's where black folk hang out. And they know that. So he gonna go in the Dollar General of all places. He knew what he was doing, but it should have been somebody in that Dollar General that had the candy bars ready. Candy bars up in there? Nobody? We ain't learning yet. You in a freaking toxic ass country, and you still walking around here with no kind of protection. You the damn fool. I'm just saying, if you sitting up here and you telling me that I'm good, I don't need no protection, okay, keep walking around like that. Hopefully it won't be new you next. I'm just saying. This dude walked into a Dollar General, and you know people go in Dollar General always bouncing his happy ass in there. No, that's crazy. So to meet this appalling crisis, Camille, she's doing some other stuff, calls for nothing less than a new deal for Black men, and we really do need a new deal. But it's going to take us coming together to produce for ourselves. It's going to take us coming together and creating our own businesses. We talk about this all the time. How much more do we have to say this in order for Black folk to get it? How many times do we have to say, hey, grocery stores, let's build one. Let's do a community grocery store and let the community help us take care of it. Why aren't we doing that? What is it going to take for us? I don't understand that. Okay, create the New Deal is one of the core priorities of the race, prosperity, inclusion. Now, this is inclusion initiative. My thing is, I understand you tried. I don't want to know inclusion right now. Right now, I think we as Black people need to be over here in our corner doing our own thing, getting our monies together, pulling our monies together, because this is what it's going to take, because the government is not going to give us anything. You know that, right? So it is going to take us pulling our monies together and creating our own. And even if we start globally with our little mom and pop shop, you get you a little store, and you can get a store like an old Kroger's, okay? And that's how big we can start it, because you're gonna have what, maybe 100 people in there. And I'm just saying, even if you start with 50 people, excuse me, and if 50 people pay you $70 a week, you know what I'm saying? That could be a really nice penny to get some things off the ground. And what I'm saying, these 50 people will have their own businesses, right? And then you could use one side for their own businesses, and you could use another side for the grocery store. Okay, so instead of y'all going to Walmart, we can go and even sometimes, you know how you can like sell stuff and they can purchase it and then you can order it, and you don't. It's called drop shipping. Okay, even as far as people that need TVs, you can drop ship that. You can use some advertisement. You don't even have to physically own the TVs. You can partner up with Sony, partner up with some of these like Best Buy. You can partner up with them. They buy off of your website. You order from Best Buy, and Best Buy will ship it to them. I'm just saying, it doesn't take it doesn't take a brain, or a scientist, or, it doesn't take a lot to do what I'm telling you to do. And that's how we can do it. You can set your website up right at a place, and you can show stuff that you've partnered, businesses that you partnered with, that they can order stuff off of your website, and you order it and they sending it to them. We can even partner with the Black farmers. This is what we have to do. This is mandatory, because every culture is leaving their kids something, and we're not leaving our next generation anything. So what's it going to take? When are we going to get? I don't understand, how is it we get up every day and still don't have an idea to do anything, or an unction to do anything, or a will to want to do anything? I ain't never seen them like this. I swear it's something in the food, y'all. I swear it's got to be something in the food. But let's keep talking. Let's keep talking. Okay. So this little comment later will also the New Boys and Men project launched today out of the Center on Children and Families. The element of this new deal will likely consist of international policy making in the fields of education. Now, we can talk about that even in education. We have schools that we can line up with as far as our education, right? We can do this. Okay. This is what it's going to take for us to get together to do what we need to do. And yes, I believe, and I'm telling you, I was on the show, Maurice Muhammad, and we talked about Chicago, right? And my thing with Chicago is we have to put those men together to work. We have to get, and I'm telling you, even as far as some Black folk in Chicago that's really serious about Black folk, right? That have a heart for Black folk, I believe that we can collect reparations. Okay. And when I say Black folk that's run, we need to start running for these offices, right? We have to start running for these offices. If you don't do, you cannot look to white folk for them to be on top of you and you think they're going to get you free. They're not. You can't vote your way out of this. And when I say you can't vote our way out of this, we have to get to a place where we as Black folk are running for these offices and we're doing for self. Because right now you got Black folk in office that won't do anything but Black people. But locally, I believe that we can do something locally. Okay, federally, whatever. But locally, I do believe that we have to start like the mayor's office. Okay, I talked a little bit about this yesterday about Black folk running for mayor's office, and the you got to have the who's the other gosh you got to have like the city council. Okay, you got to have at least 3 city council members because I think it's a total of 6. I think so. If you have the majority on the city council, so you run for mayor, you have like 3 of your friends, and you guys all believe the same way. So that's your backup right there. Okay, that's your help to get some things passed. You can literally get reparations locally as being a mayor. Okay, you can get some schools set up in your school. These are things that we can do locally. You don't have to look federally because we already know what needs to happen. And my thing is with the mayor, if I was mayor, I would have a certain amount of money set aside for my men. I'm hiring men to do this job. I want men in the schools, and I would create a position in these schools for men to go in the schools. And rather you have 3 at a time, right? You have 3 at 8 o'clock, then they go home. Then lunchtime come, you have 2 that come at lunchtime, and then you have 3 after school. I'm just saying. So that's what 6, 7, 8 men should be in one day, right? And if I'm hiring you and I'm paying you, this is your job to come, but I don't want just anybody to come to fill the positions. I want men that's going to want to be there, and men that have children there in the school that want to see their children be successful and understand what it's going to take for us to be successful. And I'm talking about creating our own schools. I'm not talking about you putting your children in these demon devil schools that you know that they're already having something that's going to set them up, that's going to impact our babies. You can't put them, you got to take them out of their system. You know what I'm saying? We know what to do. We just have an issue with initiative. We just don't have the initiative to start doing it. We know what needs to be done. And I'm telling you, I would put some of the men in those schools. I would create jobs. We got to create jobs. You understand what I'm saying? We can even create like an investigating, like our own private police force, right? But the police force that's going to pretty much secure the areas. You understand what I'm saying? Act like a deacon of defense. I'm just trying to, these are ideas that our men can do. You know, these are ideas that our men in America can jobs that our men can fill in America. You know, we got to have a new deal for our Black men. She talked about that. We got to have that. This is mandatory. These are things that we can do. And because nobody's going to do it for you. If we sitting up here thinking, God, you know, we just wait for them to do it for you, they're not going to. They're not going to do anything. They're hoping and praying that Chicago would kill themselves out. If Chicago was a white suburban area, do you think it would look the way it's looking? This is done on purpose. You know, just like the young lady. I played the young lady because I want people to understand. I want us to get that in our head. Because we argue and fight about some of the stupidest stuff. We'll win in this area and then go and fight over in this area. And that's what she said, right? So are we listening? It's a shame that we have to have white folk to tell us about us. We know about us, but it seems like we don't listen when black folk tell it. We don't listen when we come. Black folk just don't seem to want to listen to black folk. When we tell y'all, go get your candy bars because you're going to need it. You sit there and look at me like I'm crazy. And those people in Family Dollar needed it, right? So our men here in America, they need a new hall, a new everything. We got to educate differently. And it's not just about the education, but it's about creating jobs for them. This is the problem in America. We talked about the mental illness thing. I do believe that we need to put some type of training, therapy in these schools. We talked a little bit about that yesterday, and I'm just throwing it into today because I do believe that we need therapy. It needs to be in these schools. We need to be coming together, loving on each other. We need a code of behavior. These are things that we as Black folk need in the educational system. We got to start from scratch because they've had 60 years. This is what the Martin Luther King did for us. Okay, put us in a burning building and left us, and we don't even have sense enough to get out the burning building. We still in the burning building waiting for somebody to rescue us. Why aren't we rescuing ourselves? What are we waiting for? There's an exit. We're gonna run to an exit. We're gonna see the red light. The red light is on, and we standing there looking like, you gonna go toward the red light? I don't know. I ain't gonna go to the red light. You gonna go toward the red light? I don't know. I don't trust that red light. We're gonna stand in the building and burn to death. Nobody gonna go to the road. Nobody gonna go toward the red light. What's going on here? You guys, come on. These are things that we can do to help our men out. These are things that, and I'm serious about y'all. Some people in here can run for mayor. We have to back each other. We have to back. Some of y'all can run for city council. We can back you on that. What are we doing? Why aren't we doing some things? Why aren't we doing this for our men? You understand? Talking about the educational system, okay, and training. That's what Ram in the Bush is. We're partnering up with different businesses. They also new housing, family policies. These are things that need to be done right here and right now. Training, our men need training. Bring back those training into those schools, okay? Remember back in the day, like in the 80s, 70s, the 80s, they had the tech center. I think we talked about this a little bit yesterday also. We had the tech centers. Bring those tech centers back. I believe that we have to get some extra training. For instance, some training tech centers, they can be 10-month programs, okay? For instance, HVAC, plumbing, I'm trying to think of roofing, concrete, building, construction. Those could be programs that don't even take a whole lot of time that we can train, but we have to bring those back into the schools so that we can start training our babies, okay? And not just our babies, but men that we see that don't have a lot of training and they need, I'm gonna talk about cyber. That's an 18-month program, 15-month program, just depending on where you go. But that's an open book, an open field, because if you have any training in cyber, you're going to make some really good money. We're talking like $80,000, okay, your first year. We're talking about getting your bachelor's. You can make over $120,000, $125,000. I'm just saying, this is money. This is, and it's not like you're begging anybody for a job. You can create your own business even with that. And what you're doing is legally hacking. I'm trying to make sure that these businesses, and you can create your own company. If you're into that, you can create your own company. And that's what we're having to do. We're having now to create our own businesses, creating our own companies. We have to, because a lot of places, like I was talking about, I came up with to a Mexican guy, and he was doing some roofing, and I kind of talked to him, and they sound real good. Hey, send your paperwork and send some stuff. Let me look at it. I've not heard from him yet. Called him, no answer. I already knew, because Mexicans don't hire Black people. Mexicans only hire their own, period. They're smart. They got it together. But for us, for whatever reason, we seem to want to hire everybody but us. Okay. This is why I believe that we have to start teaching our children right now a code of behavior. Let's start in elementary, middle school, and high school. We really need to understand what a code of behavior is, because we don't have one right now. So this is why we're seeing what's going on in our communities. And let's talk about the labor market. The labor market, okay? We have to have that. Okay, this is here again, learning on the job training. And I'm not talking about like a 15-month training. I'm talking about, for instance, you could, like a CDL. My girlfriend has a CDL. a trucking company. I think it's like what, 4 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. I think it is 4 weeks. You could be driving, doing import exporting. And this is what I'm saying. These are not training that's going to take like 10 months and 15, 18 months to do. This is just training that is going to take maybe 4 to 6 weeks to do. Okay. And if this is something that I'm in, but we're going to have to offer money to be able to help them to get, and these are things that's not even being done in America. And this is what I'm talking about, America, and the treatment that our men are getting. They know the need, but they don't care about the need. They don't care about the need. Family policies, especially for fathers. That's what we're talking about. Criminal justice and justice reform, and concentrating, tackling poverty. And this government has created poverty. This is what we're talking about in our communities. What you see now is it's always coming from somewhere, coming from something that was done back in the day that has trickled into what we see right now. So, and then they want you to turn around and blame each other, want us to blame each other for what's going on in our neighborhood when they created it. Remember when they dropped drugs in our neighborhood? Remember when they separated our families? Remember when they sent the men to jail, okay, and left these boys fatherless? All of what you see now is a result of that. It's always something that builds on top of something else. And they studied us. They knew the effect of what was going to happen without our men in the home. We didn't understand that. We thought, hey, okay, I'm going to take this check over here and I'm going to put the man, you go over there, you can come back every now and then, tighten it up or whatever, but you're going to have to stay over there, or then you're going to have to have one. And I'm telling you, back in the day, them welfare people, honey, they was coming in your homes. They was checking to see if, in fact, you had that husband or that boyfriend or the baby's daddy in the house. They was checking all of that. They was checking to see if you had a new TV or a new Lord. I'm telling you, way back in the day, these women went through something to have to partner with the government. But you should have known they weren't gonna give you nothing for free, and you should have known they weren't gonna give it to you and not give you hell to take it, to get it. That's what we don't understand. That's what we missing out on. We're not understanding that when they do stuff, they're expecting something. Just like when they've gone to Africa and they said, hey, we're going to give you all this aid. And then now they're taking it back because Africa is not wanting to bring in LGBT. They don't want a genocide. And they know the plan, and they understand what America is trying to do. And that's why Africa's like, no, you're not coming over here with that. We're not going to genocide our children. We're going to protect our children's future, and we're going to protect the future of Africa. So now they're mad and they're saying, hey, we're giving them all this money, so we're going to tag team. But they don't even understand that Africa don't even need their money. But Africa needs to understand that Africa don't need their money. And I think they're learning that, because now this is going to make them come together and work together. I do believe that. So you're going to see a whole new Africa, different Africa. And this is what it took for Africa to come together. I've never seen Africa come together like they're coming together right now. I've never seen that. Never, ever, 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 ever. Yes, I remember Claudine. They did. Yes. I remember that, Claudine. Yep, that was something. Yep. So let's finish talking. Let me see. Where did I leave off? This is an area, okay. This is an area where it is reasonable to hope for some bipartisan action. Witness the creation of 2019. I know it down. We ain't talking about that right now. Come on. Let's see. I really don't want to talk about that part. But I know we need some legislation. But it's not going to be, I'm just saying, if you are a mayor and locally, you can do some things locally. But federally, they're going to do their own thing. I just believe that they're going to do whatever they want to do. So let's talk. Legislature is creating the commission to introduce what's introduced in the House of Representatives. I don't care about all that. So let's talk about that. We talked a little bit about the education. Okay. We know that our Black men are poorly served in schools, served by schools, right? And we know this, and this is nothing that's new. We know that our young boys, and this is where it starts. I remember listening to one guy, and he was talking about the black boys and how it will start like from first grade to third grade, they went up, and then from third grade on, they was going down. So what do you think that's about? You have to understand that once you continuously continuously. And the woman talked, the white girl talked about it. They got, they're gonna test you on it to make sure that what they are teaching you was sinking in, right? And they're gonna give you a test on it all the time to make sure that you're not forgetting. But we have to understand that this is why it's so important for us to have our own history, so that we can know when they're rewrapping something. Just like we call it genocide, we call it segregation. Now we call it what? Gentrification. It's the same thing. It just rewrapped. Okay. They said in 2019, 28% of Black men ages 25 to 29 had a bachelor degree or higher, compared to 30%. Okay. Of Black women. It's always been to where they put the women over the Black men, right? Over 40% of white men and nearly half of white women, according to the National Center of Education. Okay, the gap is greater still at higher education levels. Only a half as many Black men have master degrees, 4% of Black women, 9% of white men, and 8%. Wait a minute, I'm saying that wrong. Master degrees, 4% Black women, 9% white men, 8% of white women. Young Blacks are poorly served in schools. We know that, right? Okay. Upward mobility, Black women and white women raised by low income parents. Those of the bottom 20% of the income distribution have similar rates of upward intergenerational mobility measures of terms of their individual income as adults. Black men, by contrast, are much less likely than white men to rise up the income ladder. Why, you guys? According to somebody, Chetty and his team. Why you think that is? Because you can see white men can go to jail, right, and get out and still are able to be employed. But when Black men go to jail, we're going to talk about that. I think within the next couple of weeks, we're going to talk about how our Black men are incarcerated. And when they come out, they're holding, dangling that record on top of their head, so they can't even get viable jobs. They cannot. I've not seen a Black man with a record making over $25 an hour. I'm just saying, you got them at McDonald's, you got them, flipping hamburgers, making $10. AutoZone, you got jobs still paying $10 an hour when rent is $2,000. I'm like, how in the hell? What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do with that? But my thing is, we have to get to the place where, even if you have to go to school while you're working, men, I'm just saying, we can go to school at night, go work in the morning. Yes, if you have a family and you can go to school at night, just to be able to get that little education that you're going to need just to get you over the hump and get you that job that you're going to, and do research on wherever it is you want to go. See how much education you're going to need. Yes, it's okay to work and go back to school. Sometimes you guys just have to do that. Yes, you're going to be tired for the next year or whatever, but it's worth it if you want to get to the place where you are able to eat and not make just $10 an hour. And my thing is, a lot of men, I've seen a lot of guys that are in jail that can draw, and they can literally have their own businesses, because a lot of what they was doing was illegal, but they had their own business, right? So that shows that they're great businessmen. They just have to use that talent for something legal. You can get into properties. Okay. People say, oh my God, Cassie, how are you supposed to do that? It's different ways of getting into property and not really using your money, but you have to understand how to do that. Okay. Upward mobility. Let's talk about that. Let's continue on. It says, Black women, white women raised, and I'm seeing, when was that? Okay. Low income parents, those at the bottom 20% of the income distribution, have similar rates of upward in. Oh, I read that already. I don't want to read that. Black men, by contrast, are much less likely than white men to rise up in to income ladder, according to who have crunched the numbers of 20 million Americans in 78 and 83 birth cohorts. A third of white men raised by low income parents end up in the top 40% of their income distribution as adults. Why is that? Compared to only 19% of Black boys. Tell me why is that? Because I'm white and I say so. It's not that some of them are educated, because some of them aren't. They just are. I'm going to tell you, a lot of white guys that are in management, and white women, they're not even qualified to be there. They're only there because they are white and I say so. I remember going to, was that Cracker Barrel? I think it was. It's a young guy. And I asked the young waitress, I said, who is, I knew the one of the waitress and, and I asked her, I said, who is that young boy? She said, he's the manager. I'm like, how is he the manager? How old? And I asked her how old. Oh, he's 19. I'm like, he's the manager. He's only been, and she said he's only worked there like 6 months, but his mom worked there. And I said, okay, I understood. Mom used to work there, so they transferred her out, and she hired her son in before she left and gave him the manager. He was assistant manager. Now he's the manager, and he hadn't even been there in no time. I'm like, see, this is what they do. This is how they do it. But we as Black folk, this is how we have to do it. We have to start promoting our own. We have to, even if you are a person with your own business, we have to stick to hiring our own. But we don't do that. We'll get so upset when white folk are coming there and they be, trying to get a job. And they do. I've seen and this is only for them to get ahead, to take over, okay? Because they never want to work with you. It's always about them taking over, right? So this is what they do. They'll come to your business, right? Then they'll sit there and try to take over your business and try to get into the management position. Now they want to be a manager. And I'm telling you, I've seen Black folk hire white folk and all these other cultures in their business. And I'm like, why is that? How is that possible? Why are we why are we hiring people that don't even look like us in our own businesses? These are Black owned businesses. Well, just like our school, HBCUs. I don't believe that white teachers need to be at HBCUs. I don't believe that needs to happen. Go to Yale and you might see one Black person and nobody says anything. But then you'll come to a Black school and you'll want to get hired in a Black school. And we dumb enough to hire them. Why would you know how they are? You see how they treat your babies and you still let them come over here and integrate again. Why? Nobody's going to Yale. Why is those teachers not being hired? Why Black teachers not being hired at Yale? Tell me that. What's going on with that? You can't even go to Yale and get. I think I read about one woman that just she was a Black woman and had, now she's, opening doors at Yale. She's in Yale now, but before we used to hear about Black folk in Yale and Harvard. We didn't see that. You stayed in your own or not got hired, right? So this is what we're seeing now. You're seeing like white folk in A&T, I think it's a school, and we've seen more in like Winston-Salem State. You're seeing a lot more white folk at these schools than Black folk, and I'm like, what is going on? I know we got Black teachers out there. I know we have Black professors. What is going on? We are really not passing down anything to our children. We are not. We are taking all of this. We got to do better. This is crazy. The figures below shows the probability of moving up the income ladder for children raised by low income parents by race. The data shows that Black male raised by low income parents face twice the risk of remaining stuck in intergenerational poverty. 38% is Black. 38% is Black women, 20% in terms of their individual incomes. Note, however, that Black women fare worse in terms of household incomes than individual incomes, especially compared to whites itself, a reflection of part of the worst outcomes of Black men. Black boys are at most of the risk of remaining stuck in poverty. Tell me why. Black men, okay. Here, I'm trying to see. Second condom, okay. Adult income, qualities of low income, bottom qualities, children, earnings, Black workers, regardless of gender, earn less than white workers. We know that. And white men have substantially out-earned white women and Black workers. Since I met a guy, right, and I was talking to him, and he was saying that he was making, I don't know how we got in the conversation, but he said, I asked him what he did, and he told me the job. And I said, well, did you need a degree to get the job? And he goes, no. And I asked him, and he goes, well, I'm making, was telling me he's making like $130,000 a year. And I'm looking at him like, do you have a degree? He goes, no. I said, well, how did you get that job? I'm always, if they open up a door, I'm always going to walk through it, right? Because I want to understand, trying to understand, right? So I'm asking him, said, well, you don't have a degree. How did you get the job? He goes, on the job training. I'm like, okay, how long you been in the field? Now I need to know how long you've been in the field. And he said, oh, maybe about 4 or 5 years. And I'm like, how in the world did you get in the field making $130,000 with no education? high school. And he said it's just training, on the job training. And this is what they do with theirs. You have to have a degree, black men. And this is what's going on in America. It's always where they can get a job in management. And I've seen more managers in North Carolina because I've lived in Virginia. I've seen more blacks mixed in Virginia wise than North Carolina. North Carolina has a lot more managers that are white that I saw in Virginia. And I'm like, wow, that when I first got, it was just really shocking because I'm thinking, but it's almost like black folk don't even go for those higher jobs. I've seen it. And I'm like, well, the position is there, but black folks are not trying to get in and I think and I'm just gonna say, I think because they feel either that they don't deserve it or they're not gonna get the job. And a lot of times it's like, what about just applying for it? And black folk just don't want to be in leadership positions. And I don't know, I know they don't believe that they can't do the job. I think that it's just been a stereotype where it's always been a white woman or a white man to get those management positions, right? But we have to get out of that. If the job is open and it's there and you feel that you can do it, go for it. We have to stop limiting ourselves. And that's what we do a lot of times. We limit ourselves because if the job is open, my thing is go for it just to see. You got to go for it just to see what happens. Because I had a supervisor job. I hated it. I'm like, I don't want to do this, right? Even though it wasn't bad because I know I'm a leader by heart, right? But it wasn't a bad job. It was just I don't want to. You had to be there. Even if a person called out, you got to find. I don't want to do all that. Let me just do what I need to do and be done. Ain't nobody trying to do all that. So let's talk about this. Black workers earning less than white workers, and white men have substantially out earned. Okay, for both black and white workers, men earn more, but the gender gap is much smaller for black workers. The figure below shows the weekly earnings of full-time workers, hourly and non-hourly, for black and white workers by gender since the 80s. The results are striking. Black men earn $370 less per week than white men. I can believe that. And 120. This young lady that I know, right? She has a doctorate degree, and she is working as a director. And she was talking about a young man that's working for the same company, who's a white man making $10,000 more than she's working actually making. She's got a doctor's degree, and I'm looking at her like, and I don't think he has a doctor's degree, but I saw that, and I'm looking at this, and I'm like, wow, because I never really saw. I heard it, but I didn't really know anybody that was in that predicament. When she told me, I was like, what in the world? That is so crazy. And then he goes, well, don't tell anybody. What do you mean don't tell anybody? You just told me. Why didn't you not tell anybody? But this is what happens. And it's because, and I'm gonna tell you what, you guys, they're not paying what we think they're paying for their houses. They're not paying all of this, like, houses telling us it's $300,000. That's what they're telling us. But I guarantee you they're not paying as much for their houses as they're telling us it's costing. Y'all not gonna tell me that they're living in all these $600,000 houses. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. I'm serious. This is crazy. So it says the black men earn $378 less per week than white men, and 120 less than white women. Overall, white women have seen the biggest increase in earnings, overtaking black men in the night. And this is what's going on in America. And it's not like we don't know this. We've known this since forever, but this shocks me. Just like I said today, we saw this thing where it's Martin Luther King's anniversary, and I'm like, why are you celebrating an anniversary when we have not? And I'm not, and I understand. Look, you guys, what I'm saying is we've not moved an inch since '63. So what is there to celebrate? They want to hogwash and gaslight and make you think. And some of these black women were saying, "Oh, I didn't see any black men on the panel. I saw a lot of black women." Then of course they're gonna build it up and say, "Yeah, we've come a long way." And I'm looking at them like, "Come a long way? How? They still shooting you in the street. Police are still chasing you down. Police are still." I'm just saying. Now they're using the little bullet guns. They, in the crowds and stuff, and they, it's just things are. How are you saying it's getting better? How? Where? What are you looking at? But I think it's all about gaslighting, making you think that it's better. We all know it's not. overall, white women have seen the biggest increase, really overtaking black men in the 1990s. Of course, we see. And then we talked about the labor force. The labor force participation, for black men aged 20 and over, is 5.6 percentage points lower than white men. This is what's going on. And it's not like we don't see this. We see this and we know it's happening, but we won't do anything about it. Tell me, I don't understand that. I try to understand what is the problem with us creating our own, and this is what it's going to take, us getting out of their systems. We'll work harder for white folk than we will for our own business. We shouldn't be putting any more, and I'm talking to myself, we shouldn't be putting any more working for somebody than you should for your own business, your own company, your own foundation. We should be hustling. And yes, it's okay to use somebody to get to where you're trying to go, but to stay there indefinite, that's an issue. That is an issue, family. Never, ever. Just like I see these the basketball players and the entertainers and stuff. These basketball players, they've made enough money to be able to have their own entertainers too. What's wrong with the black entertainers using these white folks just for a minute to as a stepping stone to pull your monies together and then have your own? We don't ever thinking about going against them. We don't ever thinking about coming from among, being separate. We never. That's something we never think about, and I don't understand. You want to get ahead. How else you going to get ahead? You're not going to get ahead by continuously working for massa. It's just not happening. It's not. And we act like we don't know that. We've been around a long time. Let's see what y'all saying. Bitter medicine, welcome, welcome, welcome. Bakari, welcome. Oh, wow. I'm reading you guys' comments. I'll drop my phone first. Let's talk about the labor market, the labor force participation. The labor force participation rate of black men ages 20 and over is what? 55.6 percentage points lower than white men. And we knew that. U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics estimates many men and women face different considerations when deciding to participate in the labor force. So here, for simplicity, we compare black men, black and white men, in terms of labor force participation. And this is crazy. Black men are less likely to participate in the labor force. This is only calculating men that are already in the labor force. It's not even talking about the ones that's not even looking anymore. Unemployment look at the unemployment during the COVID pandemic. We already know that black folk really suffered through some things, but a lot of black folk are still more or less working outside the home, more so when COVID, and a lot of white folk was working from home. Did you guys notice that? Like a lot of jobs you had to go in to do, like for instance, restaurants, or you even had Lowe's open. I don't know why Lowe's was open and Walmart's was open, but a lot of these other companies were not. But you had a lot of these were a lot of black companies, not black companies, but a lot of companies where black workers were working. Okay. They were risking their life to actually do these jobs, like Walmart's. Black folk was risking their jobs to work in Walmart because Walmart was still open during the pandemic, remember? And Lowe's, of course. And you have a lot of black folk in these places that was out and about and risking their lives, and still you had nursing home people that were still working, okay? Because in doctors, hospitals, a lot of nursing home workers are black. You have to understand that. You had a lot of black folk that was working through the pandemic, that went through a life-threatening. Some of them called COVID and some didn't. I talked to a couple of my girlfriends that I know that are working in these nursing homes, and a lot of them didn't even get COVID, for whatever. They had good immune systems, so they did really good. But it's just a lot of stuff was, the unemployment during the COVID-19 pandemic. These black men have the highest unemployment rate of civilian institutionalized black and white men and women over the age of 20, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. There's a large race gap in unemployment, independent of gender, even before COVID-19 swept the U.S. Okay. Prior to the 2020 Black men consistently had among the highest unemployment rate, which is still going on. There's nothing changed. This is what's going on with our men in America. It's some other stuff I want to bring up. I don't even think my computer, I don't know what's going on my computer, but it's not acting right tonight. I think I need to shut it down and then come back on. Um, let's see, unemployment shot up from for everyone in April, and Black women faced higher unemployment than Black men for 2 months. As unemployment began to fall for most of June, Black men unemployment rose and remained high through September, the last month data is available. Into September, 12.6 of the Black men were unemployed compared to 6.5 of white men. See, this is, but let me just say, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna keep telling you, we can beat this right here. We can do what we need to do. We can start building from this, you guys. We don't have to sit up here and be, and take the treatment that we're taking. We are taking this treatment. It's all about us. Because when you get tired of going through this lack and insufficiency and all this crazy stuff, we can start building our own. We've been talking about this and telling you about this for, I'm tired of talking about it myself. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm tired of saying the same stuff over and over because I want people to get it. People are still, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I'm tired. I'm so tired of talking about it. I just don't even know how much more I can take about. And then, it's almost like it's a fight to get on here to talk about stuff like this because people just don't care. They just, I've talked to people working 2 or 3 jobs, and it's like, when are you spending time with your family? You're doing exactly what they want you to do, and that's staying gone from your home. Your children are literally raising themselves. I've known a young lady, right? Her baby, she has a baby daddy, of course, and this dude has like 6 other children. We got to do better, you guys. And I asked her, I said, if you knew he had other children, why would you have a baby by him? Sometimes I just ask stuff because I want to know. This is the stuff that's going on, and it's all done by design. They are leading us down the path of where they want us to go. And we act just like we're not learning their tactics, like we don't understand what it is we need to do in order to get out of this. Is there anything Black folk can do? Yes, we can buy our own land and we can have our own. And I think maybe that's what we need to concentrate on. Let's concentrate on people that have bought their own land. Let's concentrate on people that are building on their own land, that are building, that are pulling their monies together. Bakari had a show it earlier, and he asked us something about what did he say? Building. Man, let me see. I'm trying to think of. He said, I'm trying to put it the way he talked about it. He said, when is there a good time? Is there ever a good time to say something good about Black people? Yes, all the time. But you have people that are making money on YouTube that are making money to speak very bad about their own. And this is what they do. White folk have got it down pat. They know that if they offer Black people some money to do something, because of the poverty and the lack of insufficiency in our neighborhoods, with the jobs, and they'll offer you money to work for them, and we'll do exactly what they wanted us to do, and including hurt our own. And that's what we're doing right now. They have all these you have all this stuff to say about your own, and we walk right into the trap. But it's all because of poverty that they've created. And then they'll point fingers at Black people and say, "Ooh, look how they acting in Chicago." Well, where did it come from? Black folk, last I knew, are not manufacturing any guns. Black folk are not manufacturing drugs. Black folk are who you see on the street, but where are they getting those drugs from? Who is supplying it? Who's bringing it into the country? Somebody got to be bringing it into the country. Somebody got to be bringing those weapons into the country. Black folk are not manufacturing guns, last I know. But I remember back in the day when Chicago was saying, some of the drug members or drug gangbangers were saying that these guns were being left in the neighborhood, right? By the truckloads. We're talking about crates of weapons, right? But that could be a blessing in disguise for Black people. Let them keep dropping them in your neighborhood. Because at one point, you're going to need them. You're going to need them. You're going to need them. Life expectancy. This is crazy. COVID-19, the deaths. And you know what? They say more black people died, but I remember, you guys remember when COVID first came out, it was the French, Italy was dying. Those old people in Italy and France, um, Britain, all these white European countries were dying like flies, right? And then it got to the point where black folk weren't dying, right? And everybody was looking at that like, African Americans aren't dying. What's going on? And then they started really being really nasty, licking. I seen one man was on he licking licking his hand and putting the hand on the poles, and you had people licking their hands and putting it on the elevators and licking their hand and putting it. People was doing some crazy stuff, and that's how this is. And us mixing and mingling and being in relationships with them, you have to understand a lot of the stuff wouldn't have affected us if we weren't living, dating, and mixing and mingling with other people. But they wanted to tell us that most black people was dying of COVID. I shouldn't even see that in the word. I'm just saying. This is what the CDC was saying. We're looking at the data from the CDC because YouTube love to get you on those medical things, but we ain't gonna need to talk about that because I already know how they're gonna act. They'll be trying to ding me for that, talking about what they say on my last show. They said I said something medically, quote unquote, and it wasn't. It was it wasn't a proven statement or something. I'm like, get out of here. Who's proving your statement? Who's looking at your stuff? Trying to tell me whatever. Anyway, criminal justice. Let's talk about that. Now, black men face a much higher chance of being incarcerated, according to the Department of Justice data. Why? Why is that? We already know what that is, and sometimes they're being framed and set up. Right? We know that. This is nothing new, and some of them are getting all these years. What about that black man that got 45 years? But what about the white woman who killed the black guy? What from forecasting on his show? She got 180, 190 days. That's crazy for murder. But then black folk get life on love. Well, life upon life upon life. You get 40 and 50 years. He raped, so-called, they said, twin white girl said that he raped him, right? He got what? He served 45 years for rape. When you had a white girl that just served, I'm just not understanding that. You had 190 days, and that's all she got, and she was able to walk. Okay. Criminal justice system. I'm telling you, I want to do a story on criminal justice system in America. It's ridiculous. I'm telling you, this stuff is wicked, 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 wicked. You got judges making money off the system, and lawyers and DAs making money off the same system. That they're putting, filling those prisons up with all these bodies and making all this money. That should be illegal, which I think is illegal. You're not going to tell me it's got to be illegal. The figure below shows the proportion of states and federal prisons of each race and gender compared to the shared of the U.S. adult population. Black men are overrepresented among prisoners by a factor of 5. That is crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. But nobody says anything. We know that the police have been infiltrated. We know. I seen, whose live was that I seen where the police officer was caught beating this young woman, and the police went to court and said the young woman attacked him, and it was all on camera and everything was on camera, but he was telling a total different story than what was on the camera, and he still got away with it. That's just crazy. So my thing is, how do we beat the system? How do we beat them at their own system? That's a question I have. How do we do that? Put some answers for me in the chart, in the chat here, y'all. Facebook. Get out. The case for action. These are hard facts, but ones that have to be faced in order to respond to the once in a generation moment of racial reckoning taking place in the U.S. right now. Policymakers should consider Black men experience. Why would they do that? And these select facts through the lens of intersectionality, a framework pioneered. Okay. Intersectionality points to the need to see individuals in the context of a wide range of identities, rather rather than in simple binary terms such as male and female, black or white, or gay or straight. This can highlight the position of multiplying burden grouped, as Crenshaw puts it. On many social and economic measures, Black men fare worse not only than white men, but white and Black women, as we show above. But it's done on purpose. We have to understand that in order for our women to be, in order for this dynamic to work for them, it has to be where our men are on the bottom. Our men are going to always be at the bottom. They're going to put Black women on top of them because it's almost like they're trying to do the reverse thing, right? They're trying to do this reverse thing. And we don't even understand. Now they got us so strung out on hating each other that we literally are doing this stuff on our own. They'll sow a seed and we grasp onto it, but we continue to just, it continues to just fester among us, right? They'll sow a seed and we just run with it. And it just grows itself. It gets out of control. And it's so bad now to where we actually hate each other. I'm at the gym, right? And I'm looking and and as you go, not even at the gym, just everyday life, and you pass by Black folk and we hold our head down. We don't even speak to each other, and I'm like, what's going on with that? That's so sad. Or you'll see, Black men, they, looking all around. Then when they see white women, and I'm like, what? We are, man, I'm telling you, we are at a very critical point. And I asked the other day on my Facebook page, I said, what are we leaving for the next generation? What are we leaving for our generations to come? Are we buying land? Are we buying homes? What are we leaving to our future generations? We have to ask that question. And if you say nothing, the question we need to, why? Why? Every generation should be building on the next. We've not built anything. This is why we only have 1.3%, 1.3% farmers, or it's not that many farmers. We had hundreds, and it's down to, God, bare minimum of Black farmers. We're gonna need those Black farmers, you guys, because I hope and pray you're not depending on white folk to supply you with food. They're gonna give it to their own first. We have to have our own farmers. We have to support our own farmers, but they've gotten us to the point where we don't even want to support our own. We don't want to do anything with our own. We don't want to. We have schools we won't support. We'll sit over here and complain about white folk mistreating our babies. But this is America. We won't do anything different. We have to do something. We have to get to the point. We have to get really tired. I guess I don't know. I don't know how we get there. If what I'm seeing, if what we're seeing right now is not making you want to be done with America, if it's not making you want to separate, then there's something wrong with us. There's something really wrong with us. I mean, Chicago is not even, that's just touching the surface of what the problem really is. I was looking at something with Boston. Boston the other day has a Chinese mayor. I'm like, Boston, they have a Chinese mayor, and I'm looking at that. I'm like, why do they have a Chinese mayor? And then I'm looking at this Indian guy that's running for president. He's running for the Democrat Party, and he's the Indian guy. I'm like, an Indian guy? What in the world? That's just so weird. I'm like, dude, you can forget it. You're not getting up in that way. He's shooting his best shot, but I'm like, them white guys ain't letting no Indian dude up in the White House. You could forget that. This is crazy. I'm trying to see. There was something else I wanted to say here. There was something else I wanted to say on this thing, but I think, let me see. I'm trying to see if anything else will come up for me. The 6 policies to address social problems affecting Black men and boys. And it's almost kind of like the same thing. It's kind of like the same thing we just read over which is it speaks volumes here, you guys. It says what the last month, the Center of Children, Families, and Race, Prosperity and Inclusion Initiative um, reviewed unique situations of Black men in the United States, and to discuss possible policies, directions for improvement for social and economic outcome and opportunities. The unique challenges facing Black men and boys require a specific set of policy responses from the earliest days of life through adulthood. A key theme of the event was that policymakers must pay particular attention to the intersections of institutionalized racism and sexism in the society, and they must be intentional with their support of Black boys and men. Anything less than systematic changes will allow the current system to continue to function as it is originally designed to the deterrent of Black men. To that end, the expert identified six key policy areas to systematically address the challenge Black boys and men face. Criminal justice, see, all of them are the same. So if this is what we're seeing, what can we do? Okay, let's not even look at them. Let's not even look at them. Let's look at us as far as the criminal justice system. What can we do to stop our babies or to kind of slow this down a little bit more? What would you suggest? I suggest men spend more time with their sons. I think this is the biggest problem that we face right here. I don't know about you guys. What do you guys think? I think this is the biggest problem. And I think if men went to the schools, and if you had more men in the neighborhoods with possible jobs working to pretty much patrol the neighborhoods, patrol our Black communities, I believe that we'll see a big difference in what we're seeing now. I do. I believe that you have to spend time. And I believe that the presence of a man in a home, the presence of a man in the schools and our neighborhoods would make a lot of this stuff would just calm down. I really do believe that. Let me see. And as you can see, it's the same thing. It was the same thing. Criminal justice system truly addresses the social issues problem affecting Black boys and men. There must be significant reform in the criminal justice system. Black men are drastically over. This is the same thing. We know this. This is so, but it is. This is something good for us to know because this will help us to come up with some plans as far as what we need to do in order to combat this. Okay, we know this, but it's not just to know it. It's about us figuring out what it's going to take in our community for this to go, for this not to happen. We have to counteract it, even in the educational system. And I do believe that that's bringing it back to us and our men, bringing back the male teachers, Black male teachers, bringing back the Black women teachers. I see, and I do believe that it makes a big difference with us having Black folk educating our own babies. And I mean Black folk that have a heart for Black children. I'm not talking about some of these Black white supremacists that are still treating your babies like they're crazy. By this one Black teacher, a girl came and I was talking to her, African girl, right, the other day, and she was one of the Black teachers asked her son to choose a sex, what choose that he this was his first day in class, and her first question to him was choose a sex. What sex do you want to be? What the hell do you mean? And he went home. He looked at her like he went home and talked to his mom about it. He goes, "Mommy, I'm a boy." Right? She had him guessing. I'm like, oh my god! But it was just and the young lady was saying how upset she was because this is what I'm spending time teaching my son to be, a boy, to be a man, and you sitting up there now, you got him going to school, and it's almost like questioning the parents and questioning all of what the parents is teaching him. Now you're going to put it up to a child that's what, maybe 10 to, decide what sex he is. We're in trouble here. I don't know what we are in trouble. We are in trouble. Now it talks about improving the educational system. I think the only way I can see compared to Black women and white men and white women, Black men have lower levels of educational attainment. Only 28% of Black men. But you know what? My thing is with this, you guys, we have to, if we have our own schools, this right here, that's an automatic improving educational system for us if we create our own schools. It's mandatory. Even if, like I said, I keep saying this, even if we did it online for a minute and then we can get up enough money to be able to produce our own schools, then that's a plus right there. We can start it online. Then it talks about improving employment rates and opportunities. We talked about that. So all of them are the same. It's not like we don't know it. We just have to put a plan in place to get some of these jobs to have on the job training and even like I said, talking about the trade schools. This is something that's very much needed in our community. You could do a CDL class, what, 6 weeks, 5 weeks? Okay. Then we have to put them to work. This is the same stuff. Place-based policies. Let me see, what's that? Black hoes live in high poverty neighborhoods as a compared. Okay, that's true. Okay, high poverty neighborhoods are typical characterized by poor quality schools, less access to jobs, social networks, and healthcare, and higher rates of crime, pollution, congestion, and noise. Now, see, we know that, right? So, what's being done about it? If we know this is stuff that we can handle stuff like this. We can bring down um, the poverty in our areas by creating jobs, creating our own brands, creating something like a Walmart in our communities. Our communities should not, and I'm talking about the poor areas where a lot of Black folk are. And I do believe that even with those women that are getting, $10,000 and $12,000 for the first of the year, pull your monies together. And I'm telling you, this is stuff that we can have. We can help, but we won't because we're so busy going and buy $12,000, $1,200 TVs, or $2,000 TVs, and then you go buy a car. And you spend your tax money on a car that's like 20 years old and got 190 miles on it, and then it only lasts for a month. 32, 2 or 3 months, and now that's $10,000 gone down the drain. You know what I'm saying? But it's things that we can do. Continue what you've been doing with your transportation. Okay, come on over here. Let's put that money together. Let's create, like I said, supermarket. These are things that we can do. So this shouldn't even be. When we see stuff like this, it's like, oh, okay, this is what we can do to bring this down. This is what we should be doing right now to bring this down. But we see it and don't do anything. Mentorship programs. This is a program we're even trying to have with Ram in the Bush. This is where the men come in. This is where the men come in and they go out to the schools. This is where the men come in where we can have, things to do like on weekends. Bring your sons. Let's take them out camping. Let's take them out and take them to like shooting ranges. I'm just saying. Let's take them out and do like a football camp. This is stuff that we can do. And I do believe that we'll see a difference in the crime rate. We'll see a difference in what's going on in some of these schools, this mentorship program. But a lot of these white schools ain't going to let it happen. What about that Mr. Muhammad, the dude that got fired in the Chicago school system? And he was actually doing some real good with these boys. But because they see him doing the good with the boys, then they're going to stop it. And now he got fired, But there's some crazy stuff going on in the world. It's almost like they don't want you to do anything good for your boys, for your kids. Excuse me, for your kids, period. Right? And reparations, that's another good thing. That's something we need also. This is mandatory in our Black communities. Reparations. They don't understand how you know what, I'm not even gonna say that. That's a lie. They do understand, and they know why we need it, and they know what we'll do with it, and they know if they give us reparations. Now I'm just saying, if some of us ain't gonna give it back to the white folk. Excuse me. Some of us not gonna give it back to the white folks. Some of us have a plan for reparations. Some of us have a plan that we could build. And I hope and pray that you guys are writing out your vision board. So, and don't say, oh, we'll never get it. A lot of times we see stuff even now that we've gone through that people in the beginning at that time were saying, oh, that'll never happen. But it ended up happening. And I think reparations is one of those subjects that people say, Jim Claiborne say, oh, that'll never happen. But I do believe that it is going to happen. It can't do anything but happen, right? Wow, welcome. I don't know why I can never see Raw on my page. Never, ever, ever in the comments. I never see her on here. But welcome, Raw. So yes, reparations is something that's much needed. And I hear black folks talking about, oh, we don't need reparations, but I'm like, we don't, you don't have anything. Why would you even open your mouth to say that? And that's another subject. Remember the white girl said you'll agree on this one over here, a subject here, but then it's another subject. So it's almost like you never come together. You never come together on one subject because you're always going to see it different. And your mind, your mental state is where it is. It's always going to gravitate to the division. Okay, it's never a time when we'll come together. Well, we came together in Alabama now. That's different. I'm just saying. But real issues like reparations. You got black folks saying, "Oh, we don't need it." Then you got black folks saying, "Yeah, we do need it." Then you got black folks saying, "Well, I don't want it," or "I don't trust them to get it." I want mine in gold and silver. Then you have another black person say, "Well, I won't want it, but I want to pick my own land. I don't want them to pick my land." Then you got some black folks saying, "Hey, I want programs." I'm like, "No, we don't need programs. We don't even need to a study. We just need you to give us reparations the same way you gave Afghanistan and Ukraine all that money. Just give us our checks and let us be on our way." But in the meantime, I do believe that right now is an amazing time for us to start building and growing as far as those supermarkets. We can get those supermarkets by pooling our monies together even now, and then you can have somewhere to put your reparations. I believe, like in clinics, like the doctors and the nurses, pool your monies together and create your clinics. And the lawyers and the dentists, I believe that, see, all of this stuff, everybody has their own area that needs improvement. And this is an opportunity now that you can put the groundwork in. So when you do get the reparations, which is when, it's not if, it's when for me, because I do believe that we're going to get it. But I do believe that we have to put stuff in place now. Because I'm looking at, like people say, well, we ain't gonna have, we gonna get back to white folks. Well, yeah, we will get back to white folks. If we don't right now take the time and opportunity to start building those areas now of where we're gonna put our reparations. So I do believe that, now is the time to be doing that. Oh, we did that one. Break the cycle, overcoming challenges. That was pretty good. I couldn't believe six policy addressing. And it's all the same. It never changes. It never, ever changes, you guys, for us. It's always the same policies. Always. I wanted to see was something on here. Um, I just wanted to touch on this for a minute. Hopefully it'll come up. America continues to protest for racial justice 60 years after. Why is it taking 60 years? Can somebody please answer that for me? 60 years. Why is it taking 60 years? How do we convince the single mothers to get together and help one another and not hate each other, or the fathers to help their children? I believe it comes down to us older people, okay? And I believe it's going to take the teachers. I believe that every adult right now, and this is where we'll create programs, and we have to have programs of it has to be oh Lord Jesus, it has to be mandatory, like therapy sessions. I do believe that even for adults, we have to start the healing process, and that's the only way. We can't just say, "Hey, y'all, let's do." It's going to take right now. If we could get them to the point where we can have seminars, right? And that's where we would come in, older people, older individuals that will come in and tell them this is what needs to happen. And we have those heart to heart, and we have those pizza nights, and we have those sleepovers, and we have those. If the churches had, remember back in the day, Shanique, when churches had the shut-ins, we can have the play date. So we can have the pajama night, and have younger women coming in, and we can even call it the party of the year. And they come in their pajamas, and then we sit down and have a talk. I'm just saying, a conversation, or we can have a nice little sleepover. And this will be the main topic of conversation, and help us to understand, excuse me, what we're trying to do in our areas and in our neighborhood. And it's going to take communication. It's going to take education. And I do believe that it is going to take us coming together and having those those quality talks, those personal talks. I think it's going to take the women checking the women, and the men going to have to check the men. It's not going to be the woman trying to tell the man. It's going to be men, the ones that know and understand how important Black women are. It's going to be them, us taking that time out on the basketball court when we're mentoring our men and we're mentoring our young boys. And when we hear men making comments about Black women, we have to check those. We have to check those men that are making those comments. I believe that that's very important. Yes, we are owed reparations. Any more questions? Let's see. Questions how to rally the people in the communities to make the changes in the community. Even in housing and stuff, I believe that it's going to take us just having some heart to heart talks, heart to heart talks. Let's have a pizza night. Black folk love to eat. You can do a pizza night and a community pizza night, and Black folk will come out. You can have a little band. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's a little music playing, in the little common area, in the little playground area, you have a little bond, a little. Even in the projects, you put a little band out there. You put a little food out there. People gonna trickle out, and you have your microphone, and you talking trash. You know what I'm saying? You talking about it, and you being about it, and you coming together and having an open mic, and let's talk about some things. And it's gonna take us coming together doing for us. It's gonna take stuff like that. Where we gonna have to think outside the box on how can we do this, and it's gonna take us thinking outside the box to bringing us together. And food usually does that. Food. Let's have a movie night in the projects. Have a movie night, but before the movie night, we're gonna have a little talk, a little powwow, and then we're gonna pass out flyers. Say, hey, this is some stuff that we're bringing forth in our community. These are things that even in the Y, you have open those YMCA's back up on Saturdays. You know what I'm saying? Bring those kids in and start talking to them children first. Then you can have a parent night where we having a pajama night or something. It's very easy to get when people know that you care. When people know, and we have them like you can have one in the morning because parents work, and you have one in midday, you have one at night. You're gonna have to do this constantly. So you'll have a group that's gonna teach it in the morning, a group that's gonna teach it in the afternoon, and the group that's gonna teach it at night because we work 12-hour days. So we got to have time to do it. And you just might have to have your own TV station. Not your own TV station, your own part like this, like we're talking right now. Okay, we have several Black channels that are going to talk about stuff like that. It's important, but we got to understand and know it's important in order for us to do it. So let's talk about this. America continues to protest for radical racial justice 60 years after the March on Washington. Why is it taking 60 years? Anybody notice anything here? Would this look like this today? You got all Black. Well, you got mostly all Black, right? You got a lot of older people, right? But 60 years, why is it taking? With this, many as 26,000 people, let's just read a little bit of it, estimated to have participated in Black Lives Matter protests. It is the largest protest movement in American history. Okay, African Americans, 52% are more likely to believe that protests and demonstrations are effective at combating a racial bias of policies or inspiring reform within the criminal justice system. Is that true? 52%. And we've been marching since what? 1963? What's changed? 60 years and no change. Okay. As we reflect on the 60th anniversary of the March on Washington, it's important to note that the parallels in the society inequalities that have motivated Americans to turn to protest, marches, and demonstrations to express their frustrations with the status quo and desire for change. This is crazy. 60 years. 60, and we marching, still marching for the same thing. This is crazy. I don't understand it. It's not even funny, but it's funny because we still continuously to do. It's still we're doing the same stuff over and over, over and over. They're still protesting across the country. What are you protesting for? Surveys data can provide some insight on how effective Americans believe that protesting politics are. What are we protesting? I don't understand. Why do we continue? Why are we continuing to do the same thing over and over? It makes no sense to me. But this is why we as Black people are not getting anywhere in America. Because I'm gonna tell you what, and I'm gonna look for some stuff because I know before the Civil Rights Bill got passed, Black folk was burning America down, and that's the only reason why they passed it because Black folk was so serious about change and really, they started burning America, and that's the only reason why the Civil Rights was passed. 60 year anniversary. Why is it important? Why is it important? Diversity of the recent Black Lives Matter protests is a good sign for racial equality. Is that true? No, I don't believe in racial equality for nothing. I don't believe coming together with white folk gonna do anything for us. I'm gonna stop sharing. I just don't believe it. Oh Lordy, you guys, we got a long way to go. 60 years is still nothing. 60 years. I didn't want to be on here long. I just wanted to kind of throw some stuff out here at us. If anybody want to just come on, just to shout, say some words or whatever, I did put the link in there. But Shanique, you said, I love it. I'm gonna put it up here. We have to come up with some plans, but we have to do more than come up with plans. We have to come up with things that's going to be important to us. We have to come up with movements. We have to come up with not an activism part thing, because activism, as you see, when we get into activisms and stuff, then they seem to want to destroy those people, right? We come up with movements. Movements can't be changed. Movements are things that's going to be widespread. You can't arrest a movement. You can't kill a movement, right? You can only kill a person that's an activist. Somebody come in there and say, "Oh, I'm an activist and I'm doing blah blah blah." No, you can kill those. You put those in jail. Look at the NFAC. NFAC man has got 7 years being the leader of a million guns march, and was marching in Georgia and not shooting anybody, just white folk just not used to guns, right? But it's okay when they do it, but when we do it, it's an issue, right? I'm not gonna be on here long. I'm gonna be done. I think forecast. I think you want to go and do your thing, right? But I just sometimes it's just all about giving out information. And my little live is that thing. My camera, my computer is acting crazy today. It's just so crazy. I don't know what's going on. I do know what's going on, but whatever. You know how that is. But I'm glad you guys came through, though. I appreciate you guys for coming through. I'm not gonna be on here. I want to start forecast. I know you trying to come on. Where you at? Yeah, we just take a knee now, right? Yeah, we just take a knee. We are owed reparations. Yeah, that's true. But we're gonna get them. It's all about information. It's all about us sometimes just trying to come up with different ideas of how, just giving people ideas of how can we be free. What do we need to do in order to be free? What's it going to take for us to be free? Oh, come on, my brother. What you got to tell us?
Nah, yeah, what's going on? Considering, I mean, I can't really add much because this was a great idea. The I mean, I guess I couldn't, because I think you have great ideas when it comes to business, and like I think that's an important lesson that we need too. So like, just ways like, because I know you got a lot of good business ideas. You show me a lot of things. Like if I need help with something, I can call you. So like, I think that information is like good information. Like when you showing people how easy it is just to like, because some people may think that it's hard. Like I thought it was harder than what it was. I was ready to hire some people and all that, and you like, no, like just do this, you know what I'm saying? And you're right, you know. So I think this is important and information that we need to know. But also, you know, like, yeah, I think that you like, well, we should encourage like other people to continue to doing it. And even if we don't get everybody, if you can get one person, I think that's good. I think it's worth it if it helps somebody, you know what I'm saying? And I got faith that we'll get it together eventually. um Hopefully, I don't think the next generation is going to do no marching to Washington, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully we'll do like the Alabama, you know, folding chair to Washington in their generation. So maybe, and then we got to, it's up to us to show them too. So, and that's why it's important to support when she talking about going into the schools, like y'all parents, like y'all can get in there real easy, you know what I'm saying? Like and I'm a black dude, so they make it seem like I'm a creep or something for trying to like go in there without children or nothing like that. So like it's easy. You can just go in there and make your presence felt. So, but yeah, that's all I wanted to say though. I just wanted to come on and support you though.
Hey, Shanique, welcome, welcome, welcome. How you doing,
Hey,
sis?
I'm good. I was trying to get in. I had some technical stuff, and I said, "Let me see if I can before you get off." Do I sound clear?
Yeah, you
Can you
sound
hear me?
good.
Okay. Hey, family.
Uh-oh. Okay. You going in and out. You mute yourself. I'm gonna try to unmute it. You didn't mute it yourself.
Okay, is it back? You hear me?
I can hear you now. You had yourself muted.
Okay. There you go. Yeah, you know what? You got me fired up with this
Go
one
ahead. You good
because
now.
okay, good. I was sitting here and I'm listening to you and I'm thinking, how do we have 60 years of doing this? Because like you said, I mean, they were trying to pacify us. That's the only thing. And they pacified. But after a while, even a baby throws that binky away. At some point, you're gonna have to go back to what worked. And it wasn't marching.
Yep.
No, no. Hey, forecast, I'm sorry. Hey.
What up, Shanique?
How you doing?
I'm chilling.
Good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know. I'm at a loss of
I
words
want
in the
forecast.
sense of say again.
No, go ahead. Go
Can you
ahead.
hear me? Oh, okay. Yeah, I tell you, I can't get my computer up, so this is just me on my phone. But yeah, I'm just I don't know. It's frustrating because I hear the solutions you're coming up with and they're amazing. But sadly, I'm not even, and I'm talking, I guess I feel a little guilty because I'm fortunate that I'm not in the position I used to be in because we come from Brooklyn in the ghetto. We come from that. But we're now not in that necessarily in the same community. We're not even in the same state. We're in Arizona and we're not in Phoenix. So the things we see aren't our issues, but we know what they look like. And it's like, oh, I want to say when me and my husband would go and we'd go to Phoenix and try to give out food and try to help people and try to speak to people about something to give them hope. But it's but so much we were doing. It was only temporary. It wasn't very much. And at that point, I don't think we had any ideas on how we could make it beyond that because we were still considered outsiders. But on one hand, we come from the East Coast. They're like, communities. People feel like, who you looking down on us? But it's like, no, we know what you're going through. We were there, and it's only for the grace of the Most High that we're not in that position right now. But I don't know if we could even manage in Brooklyn right now because it's live and we different people. We older. It's a whole nother thing now. So the community changes, yet the stress and the frustration, it doesn't change. Not for everybody unless you move, sadly. So now we're out and it's like I see the situations, but they're not my situations anymore, really. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I yield because I'm kind of lost on that.
Well, even with that, I hear you, Shanique. Even with that, when you move to a new community, because we used to live, oh God, years ago. I lived in Tucson, and I got the hell out of there. I did because I saw what was going on, and black folk didn't like black folk, and these Mexicans was acting racist with my daughters, and I was like, I'm gonna go to jail, so I need to move. So I went to Virginia. You know, I did the Phoenix thing. Well, went to Phoenix, but I was in Tucson. But what you have to do, and what I noticed when you want to kind of get into groups and you want to work with the groups, you have to work with the leaders that's already there. You have to kind of come together with them, and they get to know you, and then you get to know them, and then they'll support you. And once those leaders that's already there support you, then the people will support you. But if you coming off the street and you trying to get in here, woo, 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 it'll never work, because you got to get in with the leaders first. The ones that's already established there, you get in there and you let them see who you know. Let them know that you love it on people, and let them see you love it on people. Then the leaders will accept you, and then they'll introduce you to the people, and then you can run and do what needs to be done. And it may take a couple of years, you know, for those leaders to actually trust you, and then they got you. You know what I'm saying? But it takes you coming in as, you know, to work with other people first. And that's just, but we as Black people, we have to get to the point. But some of those Black folk will, unfortunately, Shanique, will listen to those Mexicans, because I know you dealt with a lot of Mexicans when you went to Phoenix. Okay, a lot of those Mexicans
Yes.
already have those places, and a lot of Black folk will listen to them before they will you. Very unfortunate, because this is what happened. You have to understand the damage that was done with us integrating and allowing them to educate our children. And more, even on these TV, even on the movies, you know, they have the white folk in charge, and it's always that agenda. It's always, even on TV, you know, the cartoons, you got the, you know, the white cartoon, you know what I'm saying? It's always that agenda. They never stop taking an opportunity to teach that Black folk are da 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 and white folk da da da. You know what I'm saying? They never stop doing that. So that's what it's gonna take. It's gonna take, you know, you getting with those leaders that's already there in the community.
Yeah, I hear you. And right now, that may be something I have to revisit. At the time, we, you know, we were young, we had all these children. We trying to, you know, you're idyllic and young, and you're like, I want to just make it, you know, utopia for Black people. This has to work, and it wasn't. And I, at one point, I was working with some people in the community. I volunteered at a child care center. I've done my own child care, and you know, you get your little your bumps and bruises, but that was something I hadn't thought about, that you kind of need an introduction, that you need to be, hey, you know, she's not the fly by night, or they're not just doing this for whatever other reason, that you're genuine. So yeah, you're right about that. Maybe I'll jump into that foray again. I don't know. I know that something has to change, because it's starting to hurt my heart to see our people suffering so much. And it's like everyone else acts as if that you're crazy. You don't see what you see. Oh, it's not that. You know, it's all their issue. Like, my community is majority where I live now, white and Hispanic, and everyone, honestly, they're all doing just as the statistics do. Like, we are not the top of our rungs in our own community. We're here by the grace of the Most High and my husband's hard work, you know, and that's it. But when you think about how you can try to help people, you kind of got to understand how it works. So that you gave me some insight there, because I really had no clue at the time. And now I'm like, and I got a little jaded. There was times where it's like, okay, you know what? I don't know. I done tried to help you. Like, what's going on? You know, but I see what you're saying. So yeah, I yield.
Even with forecast, and congratulations on your truck driving thing, forecast. How's that going?
Yeah, I just got it the other day. Like, I got plans to do something, and then like how easy you can connect like different places and different things and businesses. Like, you can like make it work. Like, there could be a whole, like you were saying that earlier with the network thing. Like, you can like use it to like really meet people, and then like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you have like the Black farmers, and then Black people who have businesses. You can take the stuff yourself. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think it's yeah, but it's coming out, hopefully, and then eventually, you know, of course, like we'll try to have like a whole business thing behind it, but you know, it's like a whole plan on everywhere around trying to, you know, get better. You know, um, you say something, or you was mute?
What'd you say?
No, I was just
My
passing the
phone
mic.
is. Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
I
okay.
was passing the mic.
Well, Well, I appreciate you guys coming on, and I try to, you know, to really give some ideas as far as business wise, when I do come on, because I think it's so important, because just looking, having other eyes to look at, another lens, and sometimes just to have that extra idea, of how can we really do this, and my thing is block parties. Black folk love to have block party. You have a band on there, and they're gonna come out, they're gonna dance, and then we can have throw a little bit of communication out there, and then you do a dance again, and then you go and eat a little bit, and then you throw another little person out there that wanna, have a little bit to say. This is the only way, because black folk love to eat, we love to dance, and we love entertainment. But if you up there too long, then they're gonna get busy doing, doing some other stuff. But if you throw a speaker up there for a couple minutes, and then you eat a little bit and throw another one up there, that's one way of doing it. But I do believe that we have to establish the therapy. I really do believe that it needs to happen in our high schools, middle school, elementary schools, anywhere and everywhere, even for our black women and men, okay? Because we have to start somewhere. And this is something that we can create in our schools, and even on your jobs, even if we have like this business avenue where you go to, you're going to always have your therapist on ground, even with the foundations that I have a person that can do some therapy. If somebody come to me and they suicidal, okay, we as black women, as often as I can, I'm talking to our girls. I talk to guys too, your teenagers. I'm talking to them, putting, hey, I'm, giving them the ideas as far as what do you want to do. And then I have, my girlfriend, she's a truck driver, has a school, and hey, I'll call her up and say, hey, I got a kid that need, can, he wants to come in, and, she may do a charity thing, or give him a half price. I mean, just different ways of reaching somebody, even if it's one. Even if it's one, I'll take it, because we have to, small beginnings. We have to be excited about the small beginnings sometimes, You ain't gonna get a whole 10,000 crowd. Some people they got 10,000 members, and you sit up here with 10 members, and they ain't talking about nothing, and you over here really honestly talking about movements and growth, and you can't even get 10 people that'll participate. You get the small ones, even if you get 2 or 3. You go, you take those through 2 and 3, and then you got friends. But once people know that you care, then you can spread it out. But I really believe that we have to have the therapy, and we have to unlearn all of what 40 to 60 years have taught us. It's not been anything good. I mean, we've gotten so to the point where I don't know how much lower we can go. I don't. I don't. They've destroyed us so bad, and we don't even realize how. And it's almost like we are looking up to them, and we we'll go and go against our own for them, and they looking at they look at us and all and say, wow, look at this is crazy, the way we treat them, and they still are faithful. Just crazy. But this is what happens when you allow people that don't like you to educate you. But I do appreciate you guys coming in. Y'all want to have some last words? Because I'm gonna get off so Forecast can do his thing.
Oh no, yeah, it's all right, cause I ain't gonna. But yo, I just wanted to say too, cause shouts out to Tim's and Hills company, and this sister that Cassandra is talking about with her own trucking school, like that's crazy. And she said something that I remember. She was like, "Yeah, I try to help people and stuff like that." But sometimes when they do that, they don't, that people take advantage, or what I'm saying, like sometimes people don't value that when you're trying to help them. So like, and then putting a price on it. But like, I don't like, I was watching it, just like going through it and see how like they have stuff with the state to where they can give people a discount based off X, Y, and Z, and they still get paid from the state, I guess. So I don't know if like she like that'll be a good thing. I just learned like you could do that if you make like a truck school. Like there's certain things that you got to do, and you got to drive for a certain amount of time. But if you can have that, and then you could get paid from the state, and you could say for inner city or whatever, and we know what that means, and we ain't talking about the Mexicans or nothing like that. And then also with Shanique, you was like, I definitely with what you were saying, like keep trying. I don't think that is in vain, even if you help like just one person or somebody who really need it. I think that's still a good thing. So like shouts out to what you're doing. And even when we talk about a utopia, like that's the thing that we will have to realize, like self-autonomy is not necessarily like everything is going to be like sunshine and peaches and cream. You're going to have your own systems to operate. Like you really got to dispose of your trash and your all of that stuff to make sure that a community is running. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even when we saying that, like, it's still going to be hard work always, you know, to maintain it and always be ready to fight for it, you know. But thank you for letting me come on. And shouts out to Shanique, shouts out to Everett, you know, and I appreciate you considering y'all support Rome in the Bush, you know.
Shanique, you got some last words. Even with that, what you were just saying, she is connected now with the state. Just got connected, and she called me the other day, and she got the programs. The state is amazing right now for her, and she getting ready to even some people that in this area where I am, I can send them to her, and it's an area where she's gonna hook up with. NC works here, and it's she rolling. She doing some things, some real good things right now.
That's good.
So she's right where she needs to be. Yep. Mm-hmm. Shanique, you got some things, something, your last words you want to say?
Oh yeah, no, just that I really appreciate you letting me on your live, and I always feel uplifted and encouraged by speaking to the both of you because you give it's like it's not only hey let's commiserate about the issues that are facing us and you're not crazy, we see these things, they are going on, but also hey we have some ideas and let's work and let's get together. And I definitely want to get any, I don't know about emails or anything. I'd like to get connected with you guys further so that I can kind of spitball some ideas and maybe see about moving some things forward, because I don't think it's for no reason that I've connected with you guys. I don't feel it's for nothing that I came across forecast and from him I was able to come across you. Like that's not random. It's because there's some destiny stuff that we have that the world has to see that comes from us. And I really want to actually live up to that. I want every person that feels like, yeah, there may be something that I'm supposed to be doing that's greater than what I am right now for the greater good of all of my people, to actually get to that place. So I think that you guys helped to bring that about. At least you've inspired it in me. And I'm thankful. So I thank you guys. I thank you because it's definitely for even. I'm so glad I caught this live. You don't even know. But I need to get you guys this information. There you go. Thank you. So, and that's it. Thanks so much. Or you have a great night.
Thank you guys. What Bakari say? Bakari say no black folk in Arizona. Shut up, Bakari. I used to live in Arizona, Tucson. I tell you, I couldn't stay there that long because the little kids was acting crazy with my kids, and I said, nah, I can't do this. So black men wasn't even dating black women. And this was back in the day when I was there, and I saw where black men wasn't dating black women, and they was looking at the white women and the blondes and the brunettes and the redheads, and you standing there was young, and you're like, what, and it's like, man, it's crazy down here. But yeah. So, but I do appreciate both of you guys coming on. I do appreciate each and every person that came on, and even the people that's going to come after the live. Like I said, I always try to give results. I always try to say, hey, this is what we see, but this is what we can do. And then, like, you have my email. If you have questions, there's the email. You can drop me a letter. You can, even if you have questions after the show, there's my email. I'll be more than happy to answer questions. Trying to really talk to a guy. I did talk to a young man that had he's dealing with some. He gave me an address, so if anybody in the North Carolina area that wants to do construction, he has he's partnered up with construction workers, and he'll give you paid on the job training. So I thought that was super cool, super cool. So I got some guys, but they're kind of not. He said they're kind of not want to work with felons, but if they have misdemeanors, then he'll take those. So if you know of anybody, just let me know. Contact me. Ram in the Bush. There's my email, and I'll hook you right on up with him. And I'm telling you, the construction company, that's what he's trying to get into. We're trying to get into the construction company, and he's going to give them training. We're still working on housing. That's the only thing. Have a realtor. I met this girl. She came to where my job, right? And they have like a truck, right? And she has a food truck, and her and I were talking, and she's a realtor. So her and I've been talking, and I told her I wanted to put housing finally, because I've been trying to do this housing thing since forever. Finally, her and I are gonna kind of get together and see if she can give me some listings for housing, because I think it's so important for the transitions of inmates that's coming out from a transition home, for them to have somewhere to go. Even if I did like like renting rooms or something like that. But it's something for them to put skin in the game, and it's going to be their own. You know what I'm saying? Well, kind of like their own, but still, it's a place for them to go. After you leave transition home, they need another place to go, and a lot of them go right to their homeless shelters. We don't want to do that, and we definitely don't want our guys going back to the system, because it really is set up for them. And we're gonna talk about this, what I've seen, and some of the stuff that they're telling me, and some of the programs that I was hooking up with. They're wanting them to have like $300 and $400 coming out the gate. They don't have $300 and $400, and these are with the certain areas in the county. And then if I put them in another white county, then they don't need all that money. So I'm like, why do we need it in the black the black county area, but the white part we don't? So that's another thing. But we're going to talk more about that too. Is I'm learning a lot I'm learning a lot. I tell you, they have stuff that they can do in the prison that they've done, for getting paid 5 cents. And now all of a sudden you come out, you can't even get a job in that area. I'm just blown away. And then they used to get like certifications in jail to come out and have their own businesses. They can't do that because you can't get, if you have a felony, you can't get school money. You know what I'm saying? You can't get financial aid. So it's some crazy stuff going on right now. It's crazy. I'm like, wow, it's all a program for them to go back in jail. But I appreciate each and every person that's come on here. I'm getting ready to be done. I'm out, you guys. Y'all have a good one. Thank you guys for y'all coming up here. And thank you for the ones that's going to tune in after the show, after we get off the air. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Y'all have a great night. We're done. I'm out. Peace, family.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.